Hi everyone, my name is Ellen,
And my name is Alyssa.
and we are so excited to be bringing you the first episode of 2024 Our Story.
This has been a crazy time, especially starting college in the middle of a pandemic, and we hope that this podcast acts as a space for us to share our experiences in the middle of it all and to speak with other students from Scripps' class of 2024 about their experiences as well.
Yeah, we're really excited to be bringing other Scriptsies onto this podcast in the future, but for now, you just get us. So, in this first podcast, we wanted to talk about our experiences finishing high school because our class had the unique experience of ending high school in the pandemic away from everyone else, which was kind of crazy. How was that for you, Alyssa?
It was definitely different. It was kind of crazy to start the second semester, I believe, is when we really had to go online, just finishing up college apps and then going straight into online school. It was a little bit daunting.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. It's really funny because I was actually at a different college's admitted students event when we right before the shutdown happened. So I was in Oregon, and I remember getting all these texts from my friends going, "Yeah, do we have school tomorrow?" And I was like, "Do we have school tomorrow? I don't even know." And then it just like I came back, and that exact day, like everything happened. So I was back at home, and I didn't really say goodbye to my friends, which was kind of crazy.
I think also it was really crazy to me, and my friends and I joke about this all the time now, that I think the last day of school or the day that we really shut down school was Friday the 13th,
Oh,
which
yeah.
was so surreal to like look back. I didn't even realize it at the time, but being like, wow, what an interesting Friday the 13th, which we'll hopefully never have to experience that again.
It'll go down in history as
It
the
will.
2025 Friday the 13th in 2020. Uh, and we both went to fairly small schools, right? How big was your school?
I think in total we had about 500 students, which is not like the smallest school, but it definitely was small for the area. Especially the Bay Area has some huge, huge schools. Yeah, I think it was really interesting to be in that space where you just know everyone so well, and then you're all just confused together, doing online school. It kind of helped though, being in classes and really knowing the people already. I think that's very different than the college experience so far.
No, yeah, definitely. And I just realized that we never actually formally introduced ourselves. We like said our
Oh,
names, but we didn't say anything about us. Should we do that first?
yeah, maybe we should.
Well, hi everyone. I already said my name is Ellen. Um, and as you can probably tell, I am a first year student at Scripps. I'm from the Bay Area. I am currently thinking about being a double major in an EA science track and media studies. And outside of this, I also am a member of the Scripps Voice, as well as, or a staff writer for the Scripps Voice, as well as a member of ASP.
Hi, my name is Alyssa. As I said before, I am also a first year student at Scripps. I'm still technically undecided for my major, but I'm thinking about English and I might do Chinese as a minor at Pomona. Who knows? That's for future me to decide. But
Yes.
yes, and I'm very excited to
Off-campus
be doing it.
majoring. Maybe we'll have to talk
Yes,
about that. Or minor, we're doing something
minoring.
off campus, whatever it is.
Yes,
We'll have to talk about that
definitely.
later. Yeah, and Alyssa here is like the most amazing book person you will ever meet. She
Oh
has
my
a whole
gosh.
library of books. I
Wow.
swear. I like am envious of that. It's just so
Oh my
beautiful.
gosh. I just really got back into reading during COVID. So I guess I can thank the pandemic for that, for me finding my old passion again. And just, I'm just such a sucker for like new books. It's, hopefully it doesn't become an actual problem. But for now, I think we're good.
I mean, can that ever really be a problem?
I don't know. I mean, I know they say don't judge a book by its cover, but I definitely am a sucker for beautiful covers of books. So
It
we'll
works.
see.
That works.
Yes, definitely.
I should also note that we are recording this after we finish the fall semester. So like everything's going to be kind of like fuzzy in our minds sometimes. And we'll be talking about stuff from the next semester. So timeline wise,
It'll be
not
definitely
the
interesting.
clearest, but
It'll be
good
it'll be
enough.
a ride.
Yes. We'll be truly capturing our experiences.
Yes.
Okay, so I guess we'll get back to the actual point of this podcast instead of talking about the random stuffs in our lives. But yeah, I mean, so we're both from the Bay Area, which I mean means we
Yes.
also we'll probably have kind of similar experiences, which is why we're going to try and bring other people in. Yeah, what was my question for you, Alyssa, is how was your graduation? Because that was the one thing that I remember everyone was so like stressed about.
Yeah, very it's crazy to think like how graduation went after imagining it for a while, you know. But my school it has the connection to Oracle, so we got to like collaborate with them a little bit. So they let us use their parking lot. So we had kind of like a drive-in slash running situation for graduation. We my parents are very early people, but we got there first. So
Oh, nice.
we were there. It was a huge parking lot. They wanted all the cars to start driving in kind of like a spiral situation. They started parking people on the very outside in kind of a big circle in this huge parking lot. And then they did layers. And in the very middle, they had a table where our principal was, some of the teachers, they were all wearing masks and everything, but they were just in the middle with the diplomas on the table. And they called us up at DTEX, which is basically a fancy word that our school used for our homeroom class. So they called us by that. You basically got out of the car, you ran because they told you to run. They announced,
Okay.
yeah, they announced
If you're
specifically that we were
exercising.
supposed to run. Yes, and it was very windy. So many graduation caps flew off of people while they were running. It was very entertaining. But we
Love
had to
that.
we had to run to the middle, and then we just grabbed our diploma. I think there were some photographers, but I don't think people stopped for pictures. We just ran through this line of teachers, and then we just went back to the car. It was very short, but very memorable.
How long were you there for if they had to go through everyone?
Um, I think my class was only the third graduating class of our school, so it still was relatively small. I think maybe 130 students in total for our senior class, so it wasn't too bad. Um, but I think I was there for maybe a couple of hours, maybe like 3 hours, just because we got there so early. And then the teachers were very sweet. The class of 2021 at my high school made these like goodie bags randomly for people. So they started handing those out. They had stickers that were so funny. They said class of 2020, and it had like a person with a mask on. It was definitely memorable.
That sounds so sweet.
It
Like
was.
they fully thought that through. And I'm glad you guys got to use that parking lot.
Definitely. Yeah.
It seems like all of the small schools in the Bay Area are somehow affiliated with some tech company.
Yeah, definitely. People thought that, I don't know about you and your school, but for us, people always thought that we were like basically being trained to be Oracle employees, which is totally not true. If you actually went to the school, you would know that it's so far from the truth. But it was so funny to like talk to people, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you guys, so many of you guys go straight to like Oracle, right?" And I'm like, "No, no, no, no." But thank you for thinking that highly of us.
Yes, that's amazing. Yeah, my school was affiliated with Facebook because they helped us design whatever like online platform that we used.
Wow.
I mean, it's cool before all the crazy stuff went down with Facebook, but
Yeah.
still good.
Yes, definitely. How about you for graduation? What was the setup like for
I
you?
mean, yeah, so kind of like you, my school is really small. I was in the first graduating class, so we only had 100 students. I feel actually maybe it was less than 100. It was
Wow.
100 to like a little less than 100. And so we did. It was really weird because there were like three parts from what I remember. Okay, we like went and picked up our caps and gowns on one day. It was like a drive-through, and then at the drive-through we like took this, you got out of the car and they took this like 10 seconds something second video of you doing something in your cap and gown. And then later we did an online ceremony, and that's when like they say your name and they show you in that video. And then after that, we had this whole drive-through ceremony where you like went up, you got your diploma, and then you also got a little goodie bag, which was cute. And you got to say goodbye to everyone, and then that was it. And they've supposedly said that like once everything's over, we'll bring you all back for a graduation party, but I don't know if that's
Oh
gonna
yeah,
happen.
that's so funny. I cannot believe it was just in this past June, and I completely forgot that we also had two parts for my graduation. We basically did the same thing that you guys did. We had an online we had an online kind of like live stream, except my school decided to make its own website to do the live stream on. So we had a lot of technical difficulties that day, but it was
They
also very
made their
interesting.
own website.
Yeah, even though our school is not technically like a tech school, they don't focus on that really, but we do have a lot of students who are interested in like making their own websites, maybe starting companies in the future. Lots of people who are very creative. So these students, I think, in the class below us made this website. I think they called it like Koi Ventures or something because our unofficial school mascot was a koi fish. It was really interesting. It was cool, I must admit. The idea was definitely there, but on the day, because it was so new, there were so many technical difficulties. We had to like restart so many times, but it was definitely a memory. It will stand out.
I mean, that's such a Silicon Valley thing is to make your own
Yeah.
website for graduation. But I mean, that is very memorable. That works.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I mean, other than graduation, we like you said earlier, we this was also the time when we had to decide where we were going to go, right?
Hmm.
So how did you decide? Because you couldn't go visit campuses, you like had to do everything online. What was that process like for you?
I actually I wish I visited campuses earlier, but I was so focused on my actual college applications that I like put off. This pandemic has just really taught me to start doing things immediately or right when I think of it or really soon because I was thinking, oh, I'm going to wait until my second semester of senior year because then I have less work. I don't have to balance going to colleges and doing apps and doing all of this other stuff because I was doing yearbook things and all kinds of other things were happening at the same time. So I waited. I visited the Claremont colleges, but I have not specifically visited Scripps, which I think is so funny because I walked past, I think almost all of them, but I really only visited like two exclusively. And I ended up going to Scripps. So I technically have not stepped foot in our college campus.
Oh
So
my goodness.
that
Wait,
was,
was this when did you go visit the Claremonts?
I think I visited them in like late first semester of senior year. But I just think I mean, even my parents, when I was doing a college interview at one of the other Claremont colleges, because I was already there, so I decided to do it in person. My parents actually got to look at Scripps campus. So I am the only one in my family who has not stepped foot on the Scripps campus, even though I am the one who goes to school there, which
That is so funny.
I know.
I love that your parents were just like, you know what, let's go see it.
Yeah,
And then, as fate turns out, you're the only one who really needs it.
exactly. It's okay. I'm fully confident that I love it. I feel like I don't even need to step foot on the campus to kind of feel the I don't really know how to describe it.
Vibes.
The vibe of our
Yes.
school. I feel like I can already kind of sense it from all the students that I've met so far, which is great.
I like as someone who has been on campus, it's pretty great. I like honestly in some ways I think it's better that you didn't go on campus because then you don't have to like look you don't have to look forward to like the specific things while you're there. I don't know if that actually matters, but
That's true. It'll be a surprise. It'll be an experience all on its own. I can
yes.
look forward to seeing it for the first time, not just in pictures or in Zoom backgrounds.
Yes. It'll be a mind-blowing
It
experience.
will. And I'm
Really.
very excited for that day, whenever that day comes.
Yes. Hopefully soon, but you never know with everything going on. Okay, wait. Let's go back. Let's travel back in time to the spring of 2020.
Yes.
Yeah, spring of 2020. Alyssa, how was fine? Did you have finals?
My school was very strange. So we actually had like final projects instead of finals. Like they
Mine too.
I honestly am so surprised. Like you and I have like such similar experiences. I know that we're both from the Bay Area, so like the probability is higher for us to have very similar experiences, but like wow, it still blows my mind
Yeah,
every
it's
single
the
time.
same. Yeah, we really need to get other people on here.
I know, I feel like I'm just talking to like myself.
I know, wow. We're so in sync.
We
But
really are. I don't know
I
what to tell
mean,
you.
I'm trying to think what else happened in 2020.
I don't know because I feel like second semester senior year is supposed to be a time where you kind of just hang out because you've already sent in everything. Maybe you have to worry about grades because you have to send in your grades to colleges. But other than that, it's supposed to be a time of like you go to prom, you like think about graduation. If you happen to be on a club that's like yearbook, you grind and then maybe cry a little bit because you have to work very hard on it. But going back in time again for a second, um, like I think you were talking about college applications. So I don't think I heard what you experienced when you were going through that, especially with COVID and everything. So how was that for you?
I mean, it was it was okay. Like I said earlier, I was visiting another school when I came back, and that was the other school that in the end it came down to between Scripps and that school. So I was very lucky. I got to visit both campuses, and for me, honestly, it was pretty. It wasn't too difficult just because I had an idea of what I wanted when I came, like even before COVID hit. Um, and I think the way that Scripps handled not being able to be on campus or not to be able to bring people on campus to see what it was like it was beneficial in ways because I got to sit in on a virtual class, which honestly helped when we got on or when we started and we were in virtual school. So I got to see that, which was nice. But yeah, I mean, I think I was very lucky that I got to go see campuses. I know a lot of people didn't get to do that.
Yeah, I also did get to sit in on some Scripps virtual classes, and it was honestly less daunting, I feel that way, because I could just kind of disappear a little bit into the rows of people where I didn't necessarily have to have my camera on. So that was super interesting. And the students I met were just so sweet.
So nice.
Right? They were
Yeah.
just so nice, and everybody at that time was just starting to do online school, so everyone really understood each other and the Zoom difficulties that they had and everything in between.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. It's crazy. I still want to go on, but better to be safe than sorry, and I appreciate how they're taking all the
Yes, I
precautions.
definitely do. I feel like that also has already given me a sense of the priorities of our school, just looking at how Scripps and all the Claremont colleges, but I think especially Scripps and how they're handling COVID and everything, and then looking at some of my friends who go to different schools and seeing how it's just such a different experience. It's crazy to think that we are all going through this pandemic still, but some schools just treat it so differently.
It's weird to me how some of the schools who are allowing students back on campus are the big schools, because I would think they would be more nervous to have everyone back.
I also have definitely noticed that on the East Coast, a lot of those schools are the ones that are opening. And I know that COVID cases just in general right now are going up, but it's just very interesting. I don't really see a specific reason as to why those East Coast schools would be like, yes, we can open. But then everyone in California is just like,
It's crazy to think that there's all of these things happening and people are still doing it.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm glad that, in a way, I'm glad that we're off campus, but
yeah, it
still
definitely
sad.
has its perks. I get to stay in my bed. I think that is the thing that I am the most excited about, if I'm being honest.
Yes. You can just roll out of bed and go to class. Like,
Exactly.
that's amazing. And I mean, how has it been finding community for you? Because I know we're not on campus. It's not easy to like walk up to someone and be like, "Hi, how are you doing today?"
Yeah, that's been a little bit dangerous for me, especially starting college, because I'm like, oh, right, I need to actually push myself to socialize now because I can't just be in a class in person with people and talk to them before class and talk to them after class, or walk maybe from one class to the other with people who have the same class as me. It's been learning about how to push myself to socialize. I think I'm still working on it, but it's only been one semester, so
Yeah,
and
you
it's
still have tons of time.
exactly. And hey, out of it all, I got to meet you, so it's already been such great times for me.
Same for me. I think it's also funny that we met even before the fall semester began. So
Yes.
Alyssa and I met during a summer, the only Scripps summer course that was, well, I guess there were other summer courses being offered, but like the first time Scripps offered summer courses was this past summer, and we
Mhm.
both took the environmental economics class, and we met each other and some awesome other Scripsies. I think that was like the first time that I met actual like other people from our grade. Or
Yeah, definitely. I didn't even realize that it was the first time that Scripps did summer classes, so I was very surprised to hear later on that that was the first time. So I was like, wow, I'm participating in a lot of firsts for
yeah,
schools and myself. I'm very excited because this podcast is just another thing, another activity that's going to be pushing me to actually talk to people, and
yes, I believe in you. Yes.
good friends. Yes.
Yay, good
And we
friends.
haven't even seen each other in person.
I know. Okay, but that's for a whole nother episode.
That's true.
I guess that's all we have for you today. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. I'm so excited for you to see what's to come
Yeah.
on 2024 Story.
And let us know if you want to be a guest on the podcast. You can shoot one of us an email. We'll put that somewhere for you guys to look at.
Yes, and I think it's going to be so much fun. We really are looking for anyone who's interested. We want to hear about all of your perspectives because we know, as we've mentioned in this single podcast, we are basically the same person apparently. But yeah, look out for a new podcast coming out soon, and we'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.